Are you terrified about getting on a call or a Zoom with a brand? What if they ask you a question you don't know how to answer? What if they ask you on the spot how much you charge? Well, in this video, I'm gonna take you behind the scenes of a real coaching call with a creator named Gaurav, where I warned him not to make a critical assumption about brands' campaign objectives.
I've recently gotten a call with 3 brands. The call was really well. So the brand I was on call last week, instead of we just discussing the price and stuff, I was getting them more into the kind of mindset of like, look, what are the maximum ROI you can get working with me? But also I was kind of giving them insight, like, look, these are the format works really well. These are the conversion rates you will get. These are the like a type of content works well. So I was trying to guide them, or more like educate them, because I worked on a similar brand previously with a similar price point they had. So it was more like a consulting call as opposed to pitch, which was really incredible, because walking out of that call, even though that deal didn't close, we were able to build a really good kind of relationship. So it was like, okay, if nothing works out, like at least we had a great chat and then we'll come back. So yes, I started doing that after your suggestion on PTYA. Before that, I would just send an email. Oh, I had a VA as well, would do that. But working with the VA was a nightmare, because 90% of the conversation they had, I lost the deal. So I had to get rid of them, because I just realized I'm losing a lot of money by having someone instead of being helped. It was a bit of a problem. So yeah, from past 2 weeks, I've done that, and it's been really, really good. Some brands, they say like, no, just send me the price, and like, okay, fine. Some would say like, let's get on the call. But I would say like 80% of brands are really excited that I'm invested in them. And one of the comments I had from the brand I'm working with is like, it's so amazing when creators actually spend and come up with the ideas to amplify my kind of promotion. So I'm definitely going to be pitching you for future deals as well. Like, awesome.
That's amazing. I have 3 quick comments around all that. So number one, you made a comment around helping them understand like what the conversions were going to be like. And I just want to like flag that conversions is only 1 out of 3 of the campaign goals that a brand will have. There are some brands who won't care at all about conversions, and really what they care about is, let's say, brand awareness. Or what they care about is like repurposing your content. And so just one quick tip there I would say is like, don't automatically assume that the only thing a brand reaching out is going to care about, or a brand that you're talking with, don't assume that it's conversions, right? A lot of brands do care about conversions, obviously, but if you lead with that, like, oh, look at how many sales I drove, or leads I drove, or signups, or whatever that I drove, some brands will be like, you know what, we're in the UK, or we're in the US, but we're launching in the UK. We want to work with you. Like, it's not really about conversions for us. It's just kind of spreading the word about our brand name, right? So you just want to make sure that you're speaking their language. And so that's why before you lead with that, just ask them, what are you trying to get out of this? Right? Because they may say brand awareness, and then you kind of want to just very quickly pivot that conversation to be like how you have, let's say, helped other brands achieve those kind of high level objectives. That's number one. Just a really, really important point here at this juncture in your conversation with the brands is that even though this particular deal didn't work out, you did the education, you positioned yourself as a consultant, like you said, don't just wait for them to come back to you when they have an opportunity that's ready for you, right? Your job now is to essentially put them into your sponsorship wheel, right? Which is your way that you track all these partnerships. And you should be nurturing this brand at least once a month, in my view, for a brand that you went on a call with, you did some education. And it can be something as simple as, hey, I just saw this article in Adweek or Digiday and thought of you. Like, you know, hope all's well. Like, let's chat, this type of idea. And so once a month, you're just nurturing them. You're sending them, you're providing value. You're not just following up and being like, hey, just wanted to check in. Do you have any deals for me? Like, that's not what, that's not what you want to do. You want to provide value each time that you're reaching out. Right. And so that was just like the second note that I would give is like, make sure that this becomes part of your routine. You are running a business here. Right. And so part of running a business is having a sales pipeline, having a client pipeline. And so you should be having days throughout the month where you just go out and you keep nurturing these relationships. Because again, what happens, like they're talking with lots and lots of people, and it's you staying on their radar, staying at top of mind, because they may be working with 100 different or 500 different creators in a given month or in a given quarter. So it's really, really important that you nurture that. The third thing I would say, I know that having a VA seemed to be more of a hindrance for you than something that would be helpful. If I could give one suggestion of how you could potentially change that flow up to be something that would not be disruptive, is that you could orchestrate a handoff with the VA where you intervene once the conversation gets into a little bit more advanced. So maybe the VA, the only thing that they're doing is the initial outreach or the initial response. Let's say there's an inbound inquiry and they do a little bit of like light qualification, right? They ask about the scope of work, they ask about the deliverables, whatever it is, you can kind of massage that process. Yeah. But then the moment that a brand responds with that additional context, your VA says, okay, just tagging, I'm tagging Gaurav into this. He'd love to learn more, jump on a call, this type of thing. Again, just providing some perspective here that VAs, I think, can still be pretty helpful. It's just a matter of like where you intervene.
No, that's really helpful. Thank you. Yeah. Because in the past, I left them to a level which I shouldn't have. And then it just didn't work out. And then there was like a 2 months, there was like around 10, 15 brand reached out and there was nothing close. I'm like, and I was traveling a lot at that time. I was like, okay, this is not cool. So I was like, you come back, you just don't think much and you're like, okay. So that's really cool. Thank you.
This was just a small taste of my full coaching call with Gaurav. So watch this video to check out the full conversation.